And Transport Minister Barbara Creecy is in Pietermaritzburg in KwaZulu-Natal to assess progress made on N3 and N2 project upgrades. The department says those upgrades were critical towards improving regional infrastructure and a range of other issues. Newzroom Afrika Siletiwe Ndlovu is there and joins us now live. Siletiwe, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Iman. I think perhaps let's start off with that question from this morning in terms of the completion of the project, because it is reported that, the project will be completed in 5 to 8 years. However, you also have to be aware that there are other delays that might, come up, including funding availability. To date, there is already quite a substantial amount of money that has already been used for these three projects. Obviously, you're looking at those two national roads, the N2 and the N3, where you're saying three major projects, the EB Kloot interchange, where the N2 and the N3 intersect. You're also looking at the Keyridge project in Peaceville. And then lastly, you are looking at the N2 Umlazi to Umdloti River Bridge. But let's bring in the minister now to talk to us about some of those details. Minister, thank you so much for speaking to us this morning. You are live on Newzroom Afrika. I think let's start off by talking about those funds that have been allocated. How are you going to ensure that there's cost efficiency and that there's accountability?
Well, I think that one of SANRAL's big strengths is that it is a very efficient and effective project management agency. And I'm very glad that they've now put out these 9 work packages, and many of the other work packages of this huge project that costs a total of 50 billion rand are already advanced in the procurement process. What is also important about this process is that the majority of companies that are involved are South African-owned construction companies. We know that our construction industry really needs a boost in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. 8 billion of the total budget is being spent on subcontractors, and that's important because we want to make sure that emerging black-owned construction companies get the necessary construction experience so that they can move up the CIBD ladder, which obviously then allows them to take on more sophisticated and better paying projects in the future. Equally exciting about this particular project is the 340 million rand we are spending on the training of young people who have graduated either from FET colleges or else from universities. One of the key concerns that I think we all have is the high rate of youth unemployment. In these projects, we have brought in 1,000 young people, from artisans to civil engineers, accountants. All of these people are being provided with the technical aspect of their training they need in order to register as professionals. Once they register as professionals, of course, then other companies are willing to employ them. Altogether, on conclusion of this project, we will have involved 2,000 young people who will then be registered professionals who can go out and live their lives and contribute to building their country.
Let's stay then with that topic of the funds that have been spent on this project. In most cases, we do see that sometimes there are a bit of delays and budget overruns when it comes to massive projects such as this one. So how are you going to ensure that, one, there's no delays, and then two, there's no budget overruns?
Well, as I said, SANRAL is an effective and efficient project management company. And these construction companies that you see here pay penalties if there are delays and overruns. So I think that's a normal, proper way in which you manage contracts. If the contractor delays, there's penalties. Obviously, if there's what we call force majeure, floods, unexpected events, then of course it does have differences. there has been a price escalation on this project. I think it went from 22 billion to 29 billion. Part of the reason for that is obviously we all know the huge spike in the petrol price that we've endured, and the cost of transporting materials to outlying destinations obviously adds on a huge markup.
Again, you mentioned that this is, of course, a massive project. Looking at the economic growth of the country, how is this project contributing to the economic growth?
Well, 10,000 trucks a day move through the N3 corridor to the ports of Durban and Richards Bay. If those trucks can move more effectively and efficiently, time is money, as they say. So this project has economic spin-offs, it has safety spin-offs, it has job creation spin-offs, and of course there is the indirect creation of economic growth and also work.
Talking about job creation, how is this project pulling in not only the youth but also people from local communities in terms of job creation and employment procurement?
Well, I've already explained the I'm sorry, I'm really suffering from the heat.
Okay.
Can we move back into the shade?
Sure. I think perhaps let's wrap for now. As you already heard from the Minister, there's quite a bit of work that has been covered by the projects that we're seeing now, obviously job creation and also just a contribution towards economic growth.
Well, thank you very much. An update there on these massive infrastructure upgrades that are taking place on the N2 and the N3. It's going to be in budget and on time, otherwise serious penalties for those contractors. That's what we heard from Transport Minister there.